Well, Dennis, I've gotten to talk to you so many times over the years. It's always so fun to see what you're involved in. And I loved the long game. So
Thank you.
inspiring, so uplifting. Tell me what drew you to this project and specifically the role of Frank Mitchell.
Um, the long game, the script came to, this is the first film, by our new company that we started, uh, Bonnie Dale, which is my mother's, maiden name, middle name. And, uh, company I started along with my wife, Laura, and, our partner, Ben Howard. And we wanted to do films that were inspiring, that were aspirational, about underdogs and American dreams, and this fit the bill. Really fit the bill. It's a story that I, growing up in Texas, never heard of either. Back in the 1950s, these five Mexican American kids grew up in like Del Rio, which is right on the border of Mexico down there, and they were caddies at a country club, but they couldn't play at this country club because of the color of their skin, and it was a time of segregation. They built their own golf course out in the desert, and it was like one hole with several ways to come to it, and started their own high school team, golf team, and they won the Texas State Championship their very first year at the country club where they couldn't play. And it's story of poetic justice and um, it, the American dream.
Yes. Was there a particular scene that you filmed that really affected or changed your perspective?
Well, it was the story overall, and the fact that it was true. Mostly I love to do true stories because if this was a fiction, everybody go, "Oh yeah, right, right." That's please, you know, uh, it's true, so you can't deny it. It's uh, and that could happen at that time in history. I remember those times back then. Growing up as a kid in Texas, there were separate bathrooms, separate drinking fountains, separate places. People of color sat in the balcony of the theater. It was with a separate concession stand. It was like I remember being a kid and going, "That's weird. Why is that?" And it's so, yeah, and I think we show that the story it reminds us of where we were, who we were as a nation back then, and how far we've come, and still, where we are now, and where we're going to go from here.
Well, you're also a father. You're somebody that people really look up to. How were your views of mentorship and leadership impacted or changed by taking on this role, learning about Frank's journey?
Oh, well, this guy Frank, he's one of the guys who fought World War II,
Mhm.
and came back, and his he feels unsettled, and he's just kind of he has a drinking problem, and he's kind of just going along to get along, but he's really taken by these five kids and their dedication, and how far they're willing to go to get with the dream. So I become Jay Hernandez plays their coach in high school, and I I'm the white face that gets them into these golf tournaments, and that really, just like I said, poetic justice comes out of this. It's really great to watch this movie. We won the audience award at South by Southwest, not this year, but last year when we were there. And audiences, really were taken by it. And that was very gratifying.
It's a very moving story. And like you, I hadn't heard this story before, to my shame. Why do you think more people don't know about this story?
Well, I hadn't heard of it, like I said myself. In a way, it's there's a golfer, his name is Lee Trevino. He was like uh, one of the first, if not the first, uh, Latino golfer on the PGA Tour. This was like late 50s, early 60s, and this is really kind of his story. He grew up, in that era, in that area, and really had to, I won't say fight through, a lot of discrimination to get there. It just like he transcended it. It's like his talent was undeniable. So, and it's through sport a lot of times that, different cultures really uh attain the American dream, you in what we call it, because it is undeniable. Look at Tiger Woods, look at Lee Trevino, look at it's 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 a great way to tell a story.
Your career includes so many roles that touch on themes of faith, hope, redemption. Of course, you were recently in The Hill, you were in I Can Only Imagine, so many of these really incredible true stories. How do the themes in the long game align with your personal beliefs and experiences?
Well, that's why we started this company in Bonnydale, uh, along with my wife Laura and our partner Ben Howard. This is kind of, people go to the movies and watch movies, at home to they not to see things, but to feel things. That's really what you're looking for, and um, that's what the long game does. That's kind of films I want to see. That movies that instruct the heart, and movies that relate to the heart, and that's where you feel this common bond with with a film and with other people, and and you see yourself and your own dreams and aspirations, and that's where you see these five kids, in this story.
So, if audiences are craving that, which is what we've seen with how some of these movies have done at the box office, why aren't we getting more of that from Hollywood?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like Hollywood has kind of lost its way a little bit, but then again, there's all kinds of movies too. Not everything has to be aspirational, inspirational, and it, sometimes they want a thrill. You want a feeling of a thrill. Sometimes you want this, but uh, there's cycles in life, and they're coming around again, and they're still alive. Where's the romantic comedy these days?
Right? Are we going to see that next?
Well, we haven't got one. We don't have one in our company, but I'm looking for them to make one. Hollywood used to do that really well. I'd like to see that come back.
So would I. Well, Dennis, ultimately, what is your hope for the long game? What do you hope after audiences watch this movie that they're talking about, they're feeling, they're thinking about?
It's just for one thing, it's to be entertained, and your heart feels good when you see it. You just feel better after you watched it than before you watched it, about yourself and about this great country of ours.